What is up, guys? It's SFX Venom here, and welcome to the first episode of the Road to Glory series. As you can see on screen, we have got a new Ultimate Team just for this Road to Glory series so that it can start off with a bang. Obviously, we've got our starter pack to come up, and I'll show you what we get in our starter pack, which I'm actually pretty pleased with, considering that in the top left striker, as you can see now, we got a Barclays Premier League striker, which I was pretty happy with because we're most likely going to end up with a Barclays Premier League team at some point during this series, so to have that player is quite useful. I'm going to play around with the team quickly, see what we can make, see the highest chemistry you can get, highest rating, and I'll jump to that footage in a couple of seconds. After playing around with the team for a little bit, I managed to make a team with 73 chemistry with a 67 rating. I'm pretty happy with that considering this is just a starter team. Now, most of the players in here are Italian, so I'm most likely going to begin making off an Italian side, then moving into a Syria, and then hopefully getting another team which would be Barclays Premier League, which I'm most comfortable with playing with. I also managed to get a loan player, which you always do at the beginning of a FIFA Ultimate Team, and my lone player was Hulk. I had a few selections, but I chose Hulk simply because we didn't have a right mid, or a left mid in fact, so I got Hulk just to balance out. I know he wasn't the best player there, but I just picked him for chemistry. After making our starting team, I decided to go into the draft using our draft token, yet for some unknown reason I lost the footage for that, so I'm going to have to explain to you now what sort of draft that I made. Obviously I made a Liga BBVA draft, as everyone does these days. In goal I got man of the match Oblak, which I haven't actually used before, yet I'm very excited to use him because I've heard very good things about him. In the defence, I managed to get quite a solid defence. My two best players in that defence being Sergio Ramos, the newest one, so I hadn't used him yet, and Felipe Luis in form, which I know he is a very solid player. In the midfield, I had to go with Fabregas just to get that Spanish link because I didn't get any other Liga BBVA centre mids. So I was alright using him. Iniesta in the centre of the midfield is a very, very good choice, and I knew that I could trust him in playing those balls to the striker and managed to hold on to the ball for a while. In the attack, I managed to get man of the match Griezmann, who once again I haven't used yet. I've heard very good things about him. I also got the 90 rated Bell, which I haven't actually used before, so I'm looking forward to using him. And our captain, I got Neymar. So let's get into the footage of our draft. So here we go, guys. This is the first game we're going to play in our Road to Glory series in the first round of the draft. At this point I have a first look at his team and think this is actually rather similar to mine. Obviously he's gone for a Liga BBVA team, which most people do these days, with a Julio Cesar in goal, which I haven't actually seen before, so I'd quite like to see if whether or not he is what he is supposed to be in goal. As we come up to kick-off, he paused the game just to make a substitute. I think he brought on Ronaldo, I can't quite remember. But this is the point where we're about to kick off for the first game of the Road to Glory series. So if you are enjoying this so far, please drop the video a like at this point, and let's get in to the footage of the game. At this point, Sergio Ramos wins the ball from his player and plays it up to Bale. Bale then plays it to Griezmann, who knocks it out wide to Neymar. Neymar takes a big touch in front of his player, loses it, wins it back, takes a cut outside and puts the ball across, yet it doesn't get anywhere and it goes straight back to Bale. Bale then tries to manoeuvre himself some space to get a shot, but he gets tackled and it goes out for a corner. This was the first attacking point of the game, and so I wanted to get a nice early goal from it. So I put Bale on the corner to whip it in close to the keeper, but obviously, as they always do, the keeper simply punched it out, and it landed at Iniesta's feet. He then had an attack, and I played it to Martinez out wide. Martinez then played it to Alvarez in the middle, who played it to Bale out wide, who then played it back to Martinez, and Martinez knocked it up to Griezmann, who tried to manoeuvre himself some space to get in a cross but gets tackled. He then gets fouled in the penalty area, yet I'm surprised he didn't give a penalty for that. I then regain possession of the ball, however, and it's at this point where I have it with Neymar. I take a touch with Fabregas, he turns and then smashes it home into the top right corner of the net, and this is the first goal, guys, of our Road to Glory series. And if I'm honest with you, I'm not actually too bothered that was our first goal. That was a pretty good goal. Good touch by Fabregas, turns, smashes it home, top right corner. At this point he then gets a free kick and I almost intercept the ball. I reckon he panicked at that point. I then tackle him with Bale, and Bale then knocks it up to Iniesta. Iniesta finds good room to play it to Neymar, who takes an amazing touch around the defender. He then cuts inside with a Ronaldo chop, ball rolls, fake Rabona, and then smashes it home at the near post. And that was actually quite a good skill goal, if I say so myself. Obviously I'm not a very good skillful player, I'd say so myself. I don't actually try to do skills. That was an accident, that ball roll to a fake Rabona, but it actually worked out really well. And then gets it onto his strong foot, smashes it home past Julio Cesar, who isn't living up to the potential of a team and a season player. At this point I thought it was all over, I thought I was going to win, so I relaxed a bit. Yet then he gets a counter attack, plays it through to Konoplyanka. Konoplyanka then puts it across the goal, and it's quite messy, but Iniesta smashes it home into an open net, and it's 2-1. So at this point I realised that I needed to up my game quickly and grab a goal back, which is exactly what I did from kickoff. At kickoff I played it out wide to Bale. I then get tackled and he plays it out wide to Konoplyanka. Konoplyanka tries to make some space for himself, but he can't and gets tackled by Fabregas. On the break I then play it through to Neymar out wide. Neymar takes a massive touch, cuts inside, gets a bit... He gets physically abused at that point. He just gets beaten up, shrugged off the ball, yet he manages to manoeuvre himself some room to take the shot, and he finesses it in, top right corner. Once again, Neymar is just amazing in this game. He's just so good, especially if you get him on his strong foot and finessing it in, it's just amazing. At this point we're coming up to half time. And with a 3-1 win, I'm pretty happy at this point. Yet Griezmann gets the ball at a high point and crosses it into Bale's head, who's literally 5 yards out, and smashes it straight at the keeper. And he really should have done better with that, but unfortunately he misses. The keeper then collects the ball, throws it out, and the ref blows for half time. So here's a look at the half time stats. We're going in at 3-1. I've dominated him, truthfully. He's had 1 shot, 1 on target, which he scored from, and I've had 4. So let's get into the second half. So here, guys, is the second half. We're going into the second half winning 3-1, and at this point I sort of know that I've won it, and I'm just sort of wanting to extend my lead to get those coins. And we're immediately on the attack with Griezmann out wide on the left. He scoop turns, crosses it in straight to Bale, and then Bale smashes it home into the top left corner. And at this point I just know that I've won the game. It's 4-1, it's pretty much all over. I mean, it's the 47th minute, yes, but let's be honest, it's all over. 4-1 is just a whitewash, really. And as I said before, that 5-goal lead is always quite useful to get the maximum coins that you can in the game. At this point I then get back the ball, and with Bale play it out to Alvarez, who then knocks it forward into Neymar with a lot of space. He's up against Dani Alves, cuts back, and then cuts back one more time, runs into the box, does a little step over and gets wiped out by Dani Alves. A clear penalty. Dani Alves receives a yellow card for his offence, and this is to make it 5-1. Neymar on the penalty, and I say to myself, I'm going to smash it top right corner, and Neymar hits it perfectly in the green and does smash it top right corner, top right corner. And at 5-1, I thought he might rage quit, but fair play to him, he didn't. He kept on fighting, kept on trying to go for the win, which I actually respect. Yeah, at this point he gets the ball, it's quite near the end of the game, whips it in and the keeper collects it, gets taken out, but I've spotted Neymar in quite a lot of space out wide, and then across the pitch I then see Bell, so I put a through ball to switch the play. Bale cuts inside and then finesses it into the top right corner in the 90th minute, 6-1, for that 5 goal difference to get those maximum coins to help us with our actual ultimate team to get the best players, which will be quite helpful, obviously, to get to the Division 1 and win it. So this is pretty much it for the footage of the first game. As you can see there, the ref has just blown for full time. And let's have a look at the final stats just one more time. Neymar getting a hat-trick, in fact. So there you go, the stats are Neymar man of the match for his hat-trick, obviously. 700 coins, which would be very helpful in our fight to get to the top. And those stats actually aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. I thought I absolutely dominated him, but I didn't so much in the second half. And there you go, guys, that's confirmation of the win. 6-1 in the first round, and I'm going to show you the second round in this episode, and then I'll show you the second round. Hopefully we can get through that. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we're now going into the second game, and I'm going to be honest with you, this game isn't as interesting as the first one we played, yet it's still interesting enough to show to you guys. So as I'm about to see his team, I realise that it's not as the usual Liga BBVA. Despite I think he tried to go for that, he didn't quite manage to get the full chem. So going into the game, I thought I may have the upper hand on him, having that more chemistry. Yet his star rating was actually higher than mine, so that could have been our downfall. Now here's the kickoff of the second game. Early on in the second game, I get the ball, throw it out to Neymar, play a quick 1-2 with Bale, back to Neymar. Neymar cuts inside here and then finesses it into the top right corner like he usually does, and it seems to be ordinary for him to be doing this for me each game. He seems to do it every single time that I play with him, and that's simply what I love about him. Once you cut in on his right foot, it's pretty much unstoppable. So going in, so that is, at this point I'm winning 1-0, and I'm quite pleased with myself, wanting to go into half time with that 1-0 lead. So as we're coming up to half time, nothing else really much has happened until this point where he gets a corner. He plays around with it a bit on the edge of the box and then manages to find a bit of space on the left hand side, playing it through to Ronaldo, and then gets a little bit of a lucky bounce straight to Bale, and he slots it home in the near post. So I was a bit annoyed that he equalised so late in the half, but I was alright. Going into half time, we're at 1-0. These stats actually show that he was dominating, despite I didn't actually feel like it was that he was dominating. So I'll see you guys in the second half. Okay, into the second half at 1-0. All I want to do at this point is just win the game, obviously. So almost immediately I slot it through into Griezmann, but he can't quite get to it. And then it comes back to Neymar, and Neymar just unleashes an absolute thunderbolt from outside the box. It flies into the bottom left corner. It's a beautiful goal from Neymar, and I'm honestly enjoying playing with him so much. Like, his ability to find the back of the net every single time that you shoot with him is just incredible. Like that little knockdown, he just unleashes an absolute thunderbolt, and it just sort of knuckleballs into the bottom left corner. An absolute beauty from Neymar. Into around the 66th minute, I get the ball with Bale. I then knock it out to Griezmann, and then Griezmann gets it back and then slots it in the back of the net. And if I'm honest with you, I didn't actually mean for that to go to Griezmann. It meant to go to Neymar. It was supposed to be an on the ground ball straight to Neymar, but I wasn't even controlling Griezmann at that point. He just sort of intercepted it and finished it himself, which I was happy with. At this point, Bale on the ball, and he hadn't really attacked for a while, and he completely wipes Bale's legs out in actually quite a good position to strike a good free kick. With Bale, his free kick stats are actually pretty good. Now, despite this guy put a player on the line, I absolutely smash it home off the crossbar and in. And if there's any doubt over whether or not that was a goal, as you can see in a couple of seconds, goal line technology proves that it was in fact a goal, and actually quite blatantly a goal. Like, I'm surprised I managed to get it into that little corner from where the keeper was and where his player was. I managed to just get it just above his player into the crossbar for it to bounce down and in. And this is the end of the game, guys. A 4-1 win, actually quite comfortable in the end, from 1-0 at half time to a very comfortable 4-1 win. Here are the match stats at the end of the game. Gareth Bale getting man of the match with an amazing free kick goal. Another 700 coins to go into the bank, which I can use next or third episode in this Road to Glory. There's a quick look at the stats. As you can see, I pretty much dominated from in the first half where he was dominating me. I turned the table and began to dominate him instead. So there's the confirmation, guys, of the win. If you guys want to see the next episode of this, please leave a like down below, and I'll show you guys the third game in this draft. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you very, very soon for another video. Peace.